Hey Gemini, welcome to eclipse season. In the next 6 months, the noise will fade and the mask will start to slip, and you'll meet yourself in a way that makes every old version of yourself feels like a stranger. Saturn is going back into Pisces, but it's leaving Aries at the 0 degree on September 1st. So, this is a major shift when it comes to weight of responsibility for you, Gemini. You are, because this is a house of Saturn, right? And so, Saturn going back into Aries, this returned you to this unfinished business and your public role, your public image, your career, your life direction. Maybe you feel like you are revisiting different themes, or not even different themes, old themes from early 2025, where you were restructuring your career path or your professional path, or you were confronting authority figures and redefining what success actually means to you. Saturn in the 10th house is not about quick wins. It is not about quick outcomes. It's about building a professional reputation that is sustainable over a long period of time. If you've been drifting, this retrograde is going to call you to get serious and to put structures in place where you set boundaries, where you ensure your ambitions are aligned with your actual values, rather than chasing status or chasing success. You want to have a status that is brought to you by your own success, right? Or your own stake. You want to make decisions based upon your own personal identity. You may experience tests when it comes to endurance, when it comes to, your leadership role that demands more than you expected, or there can be a project that, requires long hours or patience. But here's the key: this is a final test before Saturn moves forward and locks in your foundations when it comes to your career and even your career trajectory, your life experience, like just propelling your life forward. It's the 10th house, and this is going to last you for years to come. On September 2nd, Mercury is going to enter into Virgo in your fourth house, and you're looking inward when it comes to your home, towards your emotional safety. Mercury here has a practical approach, right? Because it's problem solving. Mercury is also your ruler, and there's this quality that you have when Mercury is in the fourth house of making these detailed plans about property. You could be thinking, you can be, mentalizing your emotions. You can be thinking about moving mentally. You could be thinking about reorganizing your space. You could be thinking about buying property or renovations within your home. And you might be engaging in these important conversations when it comes to family members, especially about the real responsibilities, that everyone has around the home, or this long-term planning. And since Virgo's energy can be like very, thought out, likes to have order, likes to have control, you can find yourself um, you know, getting real plans in order, financial agreements or financial entanglements. You can really start to have these structured storage mental like formulas, almost like what's going on, you're going by the plan. And this can be a psychological thing, because your Mercury in the fourth is definitely, inviting you to think about your emotional foundations, right? And the belief patterns that you have or you have inherited from your family, and whether they support you in the life that you're actually building now. So you're making these mental formulas, but they have to do with your emotions. And just be careful when Mercury's in the fourth to really write things down, to really make plans and use Mercury's energy as something useful, as something that you want to change, not control. And not even change, really upgrade and like kind of purify, and using Virgo's energy, because there's a lot going on in your fourth house this month, and it's really about purification. And on September 6th, not Mercury, but Uranus is going to station retrograde in Gemini in your first house. And Uranus in your first is rewriting your identity And if you haven't gone to watch the video on Uranus being in Gemini, you definitely want to go watch that. This is a very important transit for you, Gemini, when it comes to the way that you're upgrading very rapidly fast, and your identity, and just propelling you forward when it comes to your mental genius. Really go watch that video, because there's probably things that you won't see coming, especially when Uranus is going retrograde. But over the past year, over the past, couple of years, you may have experienced, or you may have experienced different looks, the way that you look, like you could be looking differently over the next, maybe that you may have gotten bigger, or your face has gotten bigger, and you could have been like experimenting with your appearance, with your personal style, with your life direction even. And people may have noticed you acting in ways that were more rebellious and spontaneous and more unconventional rather than before. With Uranus stationary retrograde, it's going to be going a little bit back into Taurus, but these are these are shock waves to turn inward. When it comes to you, you are very important, especially at the first degree, because this is your first house. Very important. You become aware of this internal restlessness that's been driving your external changes. This is a period of this profound self-discovery, self-enlightenment, and these sudden realizations about who you really are and what you really want from life, and these old versions of yourself that you have outgrown. And it's not about abandoning, your stability completely. And when Uranus was in Taurus, a lot of things could have changed, for you when it comes to, your subconscious mind, what you think about, and what you like, your spiritual practices. There's just like a lot of gifts that have awakened in you, Gemini, and you really want to be stable. And you like, because Uranus brings this revolutionary ideas to us. We want to act, we want to start letting our authentic parts of us show. But even if they challenge other people's expectations, you must still behave this way, if that makes sense. Like, you've changed so fast, there's no going back, and you have to really think about yourself. So you have to expect, you can expect these flashes of insight, these unpredictable moods, or these like, it's like you have a deeper hunger for personal freedom. On September 7th, please, Gemini, you have to watch my video on the full moon lunar eclipse that I did with Divine Feminine Works. This is a beautiful and magnificent, I want to say beautiful, magnificent, because we're talking about Pisces, very magical and faded eclipse at the 15th degree. And this is happening in your 10th house. Like, this is the house where, a chapter of your life really reaches a turning point when it comes to your public image. And because this is an eclipse, it's not about, this culmination, just like a full moon culmination where you let things go. No, you are being fatedly shifted into a new direction of your life, and you will feel or find yourself stepping down from a role, finishing this long-term personal project that you have, or changing how the world actually sees you. Pisces energy is less about climbing the ladder and reaching success, but about aligning to purpose. Also makes it so beautiful and magical for you, because the 10th house is the house where our life is actually going. And for your life to be going in the right direction, Gemini, aren't you happy about that? Or even when it comes to letting these career paths go and let other people, take them. Like, some jobs are not for us, some life directions are not for us. Like, let other people have them. Even if it looks good on paper, it just doesn't matter, because it doesn't feed your soul, Gemini. And ultimately, there's going to be recognition that may come, and it can almost feel surreal. Like, this is a result of your intuition, your creative passion, even the compassion that you have for other people. These creative projects that, really, they involve more of your gifts than just pure strategy. But of course, you must strategize with, North Node being in Pisces and things of that nature. And this eclipse is going to spotlight your relationships when it comes to authority, asking you, are you giving away too much power? Are you ready to step into this leadership role that inspires you rather than controls? But we go so much more in depth. Divine Feminine works and I, or Melissa and I, about what this actually means for you and how life-changing it is for you, Gemini. And yes, you definitely want to go ahead and watch that, because that is the theme. This is the most important month, September, and the eclipses are the theme of September, and even over the next 6 months and 12 months really changes your life. And yours is happening in the 10th house, which is pretty sweet. So on September 13th, 2025, Sun is going to conjunct Mercury. Mercury is your ruler, and it's in Virgo, in your fourth house. And this is a moment of clarity when it comes to your home, when it comes to these family matters. There's a conversation that might have a breakthrough. As I said, even just Mercury being in your Virgo house, you are finding missing pieces of information. And this conjunction can really be what you needed to move forward with a plan or something like that. And because the Sun and Mercury, they're both in Virgo, and they're having this kazemi. These are solutions that are found in practical problem solving, which which about Gemini, because Mercury is your ruler as well. But this is like maybe making home repairs, reorganizing your space. Family schedules, they change or they run smoothly. They can change for the better and run smoothly for the better. And you can reflect on your childhood or your childhood home. You could talk about your family history, talk to relatives about your family history. You could be gaining insight when it comes to your upbringing and how it has shaped you as an individual. On September 18th, 2025, I keep saying 2025 because it just feels like sometimes I should say it. I can't believe it's 2020. I can't even believe that it's actually September. Like, and then next month is October. Like the month, like the year, the Gregorian calendar year is over already. Like, this is just, time is just so not real. The only thing that's real is astrology. That's the only reason. Like, that is the only way I can actually keep up with these months is astrology, because I don't know what day it is, what time it is, where I am half the time. But anyways, on September 17th, Gemini, Mercury enters Libra. And this is your fifth house. So your mental focus, Mercury moves, and when Mercury moves, especially into a sign that thinks a lot, your mental focus is about, creativity. It goes into your fifth house of joy, of expression. And this feels lighter. It feels like you have more playful energy that is, you know, it can help you brainstorm. It can help you like break out the box and really, how they do, what is that, like creative writing or something like that, or having these projects, or just having friendly conversations, things that just break you out of this serious type of nature, or this I must do this type of nature. It's really about having like open discussions. And even if you have children, this is a great time to teach them something, to collaborate with these creative activities if you need to, or paint, or just get into something that is very expressive and really breaks you out of the box. Writing love notes but never sending them, or something like that, or send them. Libra is the one that can really pull people together if you want to, but Mercury here, it really favors this artistic expression that blends logic with beauty. And anything that comes from Libra is about designing, and it's about what we wear. And in art, it can be about redefining our performance in certain way. That's the fifth house. This can be very favorable for those times. Like, I wouldn't say love affairs, but I would say talking to people, having like a open discussions about relationships. My the key thing for me would be writing love notes, and then writing, watching, what do you call it? Romantic movies. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. But just watching like romantic movies, watching movies that bring joy and a sense of self-expression through the love of the heart, of connecting with others and collaborating with others. On September 19th, I mean, like, On September 19th, we're going to have Venus enter into Virgo in your fourth house. You have a lot of action in the fourth house. As I said before, like like Venus wants to soothe things over, right? It wants to bring together and beautify whatever it touches. This is about harmony within the home life, within the family life, and this can be a perfect time for like redecorating. This can be a perfect time for creating a cozy space or having these intimate gatherings inside of your home, Gemini, and you can feel more affectionate towards your family members, and you might want to mend these old tensions and have gentle conversations with other people. There's this sentimental moment or quality that is about you or that happens in the house, and you can be drawn to cooking, you can be drawn to family, and maybe family, like cooking together or cooking for your family, or going through like old albums, or looking at pictures and just blending these traditional elements of your home like into your atmosphere. You know how you look at pictures and you go down memories, and what we do when we're like on holiday or something like that with our family. These moments can feel like that, especially on September 21st. There is going to be a solar eclipse in Virgo. You're definitely gonna want to go ahead and watch that video, because I actually, it's on Divine Feminine Works channel, because this is a solar eclipse that is very profound. This is the beginning of a long-term shift when it comes to your living situation and family. You can buy property. You can get lucky and buy property. And it's not even about luck. This is a fated event that's supposed to happen. And you can even change the people that you live with. There can be these fated marks and new beginnings. When it comes to your private life, emotionally, this is a reset for you. It's very profound when it comes to redefining what home actually means. And it's not just this physical and spiritual thing. This is about setting these stronger boundaries, creating a sanctuary, creating a home. And it doesn't have to be with your what do you call them, biological family. It's about choosing to prioritize family in a more deliberate way, and it can be chosen family as well. But even though the fourth house is our familiars and people that we are familiar with, but you can love people and keep them at a distance. You can have relationships with people and family and keep them at a I don't want to say at an arm's length, but you have to protect your emotional space and your private body. So on the 22nd, Mars is going to enter into Scorpio in your sixth house. And daily routines can definitely intensify when Mars is in your sixth house. It makes you really highly productive, but it also can make you impatient if things are insufficient. You could want to throw yourself into exercising routines, into developing on your health. Mars has this laser focus in the sixth house. It really wants to cut away the loose skin. Like, it really wants to cut away what's going to weigh it down, or going to cause stress or any type of uh, any type of thing. But Mars actually in the sixth house can increase your stress too. If you're overcommitting to something, you have to balance out what you're doing in your lifestyle and on your day-to-day activity, because you can feel more competitive when it comes to being at work. You want to be better than the next person. You really might decide to tackle some bad habits head on with determination, but you also want to be the one that's proving yourself. I'm gonna prove myself, which is it's good sometimes, but sometimes it can cause this unnecessary stress. Mars. On the 22nd, the sun is going to enter into Libra in the fifth house. And so this is the house of joy, right? And this is the house of romance and creativity. And you feel more sociable. You feel like you feel more open, I think, Gemini, because you're more interested in beauty and art, and you're willing to take risk when it comes to expressing yourself, when it comes to finding inner joy. And this is a period where you feel like you want to celebrate life even more. And you want to celebrate children If you have children, you want to celebrate projects, you want to, seek experiences that feel enriching and inspiring rather than just functional. You truly want to feel connected to those that are around you when the sun is in the fifth house. And this is really powerful, right? Because the sun belongs to the fifth house, and it in Libra, you want to bring people together, you want to go out, you want to really socialize with people, you want to be that social butterfly. So I advise you to go ahead and do that at the end of the month, Gemini. So yeah, that's all I have for you, Gemini. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, Gemini.